Welcome back to Friday 50/50.
Yay!
Hello, dear.
Hi, Tam.
How are you?
I'm good. Tired, but good.
Yes, I feel like that's the theme at the moment across the world, tired but good.
Good.
I actually just got off the phone with my auntie because after this I am still going, but I'm the only person going to a magical healing session at her house. And she said, everyone else has cancelled. And I said, what do you think's going on? And she said, now this is a bit strange. I'll have to break it down.
Yeah.
The lady Andy and I bought our new house off that we're about to move into is a famous international channeler of spirit.
Ooh.
Her name's Rebecca Dawson. Rebecca Dawson's latest email said, by the start of April, everyone will be running around in a new body. Now, she's of a particular ilk and a particular woo-woo-ness.
Yes.
But the basic premise is if anyone's feeling a bit tired at the moment, it's connected to this renewal that's happening at a spiritual level.
Yes, I agree. I have no idea, but I agree.
Yeah, I have no idea, but I agree. I was thinking about today, I was coming here, then I was going to see my auntie, and then we've got a 50th tonight, and I was like, how will I cope? I am so tired.
Yes.
There's someone else in the room tired as well, but we're not putting attention at him because he doesn't
No.
like that. But let's just say Grayson's had a big week. That's all I'll say. He's doing a great job. Great job. I know, look at his face. So you and I, before we started, were talking about the house because we've now got the keys to our new house.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's such an amazing space.
I'm so glad you like it. It was really nice because I'm kind of grieving our little house we're leaving. So as much as I love the new house, I've been like, why aren't I more excited? And I realised it's because I've been like, that little house we've been in, it's so little, but it's been this real secure balm with the start of Discern. We've been there since the start of Discern, so 8 years, and a lot of external stress. So coming home, driving literally down a driveway into a little magical hollow that no one knows is there, into a little shack where we hide and recuperate and then go back out into the scary world. Yeah. It's all very symbolic because we were living in this little hollow and now we're going to be living in like a birdhouse.
Yeah, it's
at
like
the top
tree
of
house.
it's a tree house.
Spectacular.
It's not. It's the opposite of hidden and, as Andy would say, fecund, very green. It's going to be greener by the time I've got my hands on it. But it's up the top of an incredible hill, incredible driveway, literally perched on the top of rocks.
Your driveway is scary.
It is so scary.
I was going to be brave and go, oh, it's fine. And then I'm like, no, it's scary.
It's so scary. So scary. And the folklore's gone all throughout my family now. So most people are like, we're not visiting. I'm like, cut it out.
Oh,
if you don't want to drive up,
bottom,
just walk up.
Yeah, just walk
Plus,
up.
it's your cardio for the week.
The walk is lovely.
We reckon if we walk up once a day, nothing else.
No, you don't.
You don't need anything else.
You don't need to go hiking. You don't need any nature. It's all at your house. So
It's
convenient.
all at my house. I should offer it out.
Yes.
Cardio runs. Did I tell you about
the what's that? Those stairs that you do. We just come and walk up your
Jacob's
driveway.
ladder.
Yeah, just come walk up your driveway.
That's it.
Couple
Yeah,
of times.
hire it out.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about when the tree lopper came with all his young apprentices and I said, follow me, and I'm walking up to the top of the road like by the top, and this little young guy jogs past me. Not even with his heavy work boots on, not even one deep breath being taken. I was like, you little fucker.
That is fit.
He was so fit, and I was laughing. I was like, "Oh, why you didn't?" I said to him, "You didn't have to run past me," and he was laughing. He was like, "You could tell he was like, I can't help it if I'm young and fit, old lady."
I was trying not to puff because I was there obviously with my younger boyfriend, and I didn't want to appear old.
Yes.
So I was like,
I thought you did well. I couldn't even tell you were puffing.
I was like, my God, that was a long way up.
It's very, very steep. It's very, very
He's
steep.
going to listen, so you won't hear this.
That's ego.
Secrets, Tam.
Secrets. That's the whole idea. Well, I'm going to talk about Andy, so I hope he does listen because before because it's good. No, I'm hoping he'll like it because I'm also going to try and be understanding.
Okay.
Because, I was just saying to you off air, this new house, I've always wanted the house we're about to move into. So it's 50 years old. It's on the top of a hill. It has city glimpses if you ignore the high power line in between the city and oneself. It has hill views, beautiful, and it's wood and glass, big pitch ceilings. For those of you who are a wood and glass fan of the 70s ilk in the hills, you'll know the feeling. Beautiful. And I've been trying to get this kind of house forever. So now I've got it. I'm like, I know exactly how I want it. My husband, who didn't have the same dream of house and was quite generous in allowing me to buy this house with him, I think he's thinking, she got the house she wanted. Now I want to have a say in what happens in here. And also I didn't have much of a say in our little tiny 2x1, and it's absolutely chock-a-block. So I've got to keep my eye on her because I don't want another chock-a-block house. I don't want her to be the boss of the decoration. So you came round yesterday with your much younger boyfriend, and there was a couple of moments of, we'll talk about this when we get home, because Andy and I were disagreeing. Well, we only disagreed, 6 or 8 times in the time you were there.
I didn't feel that bad.
Good. We were trying to hide it, so that worked well.
Yeah.
And also I was already tired and already like bit over everything.
Actually, the biggest giveaway was your face.
Was it?
Yeah.
My face is
you
always
were
the
like,
biggest giveaway.
I'm excited. This is going here. This is going there. I think I'll do this. I think I'll do that. And then Andy said, oh, I think we should get rid of the fireplace. And your face just went,
Oh, my God. Like, come on. Like, it's got a dining room and then a sunken lounge room. Dream come true for me, sunken lounge. 70s dream come true. And then it's got this beautiful cast iron pot belly with a copper pipe. It's so much a part of the atmosphere. And the first thing Andy says is, I think we'll rip that out and put the telly there.
oh.
No wonder my face dropped. It's like, what are you doing, man? Like,
Poor Andy. He was just trying to get involved.
oh, why does everyone always say poor Andy? Like, that happens to me all the time. I'm with Andy, I'm talking with Andy, and then whoever's with me, it's, oh, poor Andy. And I'm like, he's not an innocent victim in this story as much as he would want that to be believed.
He just needs a new project. You just need to find... Sorry, Andy.
He's already got a new project. He's got his microscope.
Oh, yeah. Just set that room up with his microscope in it and shut him in there.
No, I've got to make him feel. I think what I've got to do is got to make him feel like I'm not going to run amok. Yeah, I've got to make him think. Truly,
is it because your styles are different? Like, does he have like really minimalist styles, and you like really?
It's not
more
actually
bold
that.
stuff?
It's not that. Even when I said to him in our house, I thought he's going to want to get rid of everything. It's going to be so minimalist, which makes me anxious because my parents have nothing around, and it's not a happy memory for me. So I like having more stuff.
On
But then
display,
when the lounge and dining at our new house, which is all one world, it's literally a shack. When that was neat and I still had all my stuff, I said, "Oh, how much less stuff would you want?" He said, "No, this is fine like this." And I was like, "Oh, good."
Okay.
He's not extreme. I'm going to talk to him today, but I really think the thing is I cannot let this woman run amok, and I really want to have not clutter, and I have to feel like I think it is, he has to feel like I'm listening to him.
Yeah. Do you think he's just trying to be helpful?
No. 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 Oh, actually, what he might be trying to do is he likes working through problems together.
Yeah.
And I hate that. It's true. So he wants okay, so let's use our 3 relationship who's in the room as to see how I like to work, right? So how does it work? I go, "Can I please come this day?" You both say yes if it works. You're all ready to go. We do it. Then you go, "Could you please put the timestamps on what you'd like or not like?" I send those through. Grayson does his magic. We barely communicate apart from to agree with what one another have done. I mean, how rare is it if I say, "No, I don't like that." Like, I pretty much never, because you guys do great work. I don't want to talk about it. That's awesome, right? And then it leaves everyone alone. It all gets done. Whereas what Andy would want to do is each stage of the process, we have to have very long discussions. And it's how his mum's the same, right? So there's this famous story where her and Andy's dad wanted to buy a couch, and her great joy is taking Rob, who's a lot like me, as his life works. You marry your parents, right? She wanted to take him all the furniture shops, have him discuss it. Like, that's part of the joy for her. And he's like, effing nightmare, man. Just pick one and I'll tell you if I agree. And the person that's trying to be connected is really sad.
Yes, I see. It's a connection issue.
Yeah, it's like, can we please discuss this and really analyse it and think about what will work and, you know, and that whole process, the other part that's so hard is it's meant to be joyful. Yeah. And it's my worst nightmare. So I'm often irritable, bitey, impatient, hurt my husband's feelings. And he's like, we were meant to be singing Kumbaya. I said, well, you married the wrong person. You know who I am. I'm not someone that's going to want to sit down and discuss for hours on end our various views on a cupboard. Yeah. This now is meant to be useful for Andy to hear. Now it would just be shitty that I'm talking about it. Might have to edit. But what we won't have to do is discuss for 4 hours what we're going to edit and why.
Yeah, that's interesting. And it's interesting the dynamics too. I as you're speaking, I've got a bit of both of those things. I think I like people to stay in their lane. Like I like working with you because you're good at your things, I'm good at my things. Our
Never
lanes
the
don't-
twain shall meet.
The twain shall meet.
That's right. It's very healthy.
It is very healthy. But yeah, I can see the dilemma now. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I don't know. I've never been in a relationship where both people wanted to make decisions about things.
Yeah. No,
because I'm happy for other people. I'm a follower. Like, make decisions.
Yeah, that's what
when I
I
have
need.
something to say, you'll know. Otherwise, on your merry way.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that would have been ideal, but that's not how it happened. So my husband has opinions and wants them to be heard. It's really annoying. He does let me do quite a lot because otherwise it couldn't work. Like he does give me quite a lot of rope.
Yeah.
But I think the other thing at the moment is I think moving's a big deal. They make it out like it's
huge.
worse than divorce,
Yeah,
all that dramatic
agree.
story. So I think we're also tense.
Yeah.
And when we're tense, like the DISC model talks about.
Oh, yes. Say more.
Yeah, so the DISC model, DISC. D is fast acting, decisive, can be abrupt and rude. I is very social, also fast moving, but more about the person, not the problem. S is very agreeable, team oriented, slower paced, more introverted. And C is less people oriented, task, detail focus, also quite introverted. So Andy and I have different styles. I'm an DI combo. He's a CI combo, which is very unusual. I in public, C in private.
Yeah.
So I always say to people, the Andy they meet is not the Andy at home,
Yes.
for good and bad. But when we get stressed, I go very high D, decisive, impatient, quick.
Yeah.
He goes high C, detail oriented, very slow, nervous to make a decision.
Yes.
And so I'm literally trying to drag him along, kicking and screaming, and he's trying to put, in my opinion, concrete boots on me to have me look at stuff and slow down and think about it. We're each other's worst nightmare when we're stressed.
You reminded me of a conversation I had with my late husband. He's made a decision on something and he says, I'll give you 20 minutes for you to do the 15 steps that you need to do in order to arrive at the same decision that I just made, which is true.
Right.
Because I have to do the 15 steps in order and then make the decision.
I know.
And I will probably make the same decision, but I need to do the 15 steps.
And he understood you saying that. But also
at least you knew that was
well,
the case.
that's right. But also there's a gender thing, right? It's very sexist to say, but Andy and I are the wrong sex for our personalities. Right. If I was a man and he was a woman, it'd be much easier because it's a more cliched, expected thing, right? Yeah. The man's like problem solving, fast, decisive, more not aggressive necessarily, but like, okay, this is what we're doing, get on board. And normally the woman's like, this is all very cliched, but normally the woman's like, okay, honey, but let me have a think about it, or I'm not ready to do that, or whatever. But because we have the opposite, of course, he doesn't want to be consistently emasculated by me, who's very dominant and male-like. And I'm like, I just want you to get on board, buddy. But of course, he's like, I'm not going to just roll over.
No, it's a big decision. This house stuff is huge.
Doesn't even want to go to East West tomorrow. And I don't even understand. Like, we're down in Fremantle. We're at his parents tonight. I said, let's go and have a look at the cupboards. And there's something about me wanting to go there that has had him go, that is the last thing we should be doing. So there's so much S going on. And it's like, we just got to have a look at it together. And I've got to try and be patient.
Yeah. But what an amazing gift that you've got, all this self-awareness, all this practice learning of each other. You've got tools and skills to help you through because, moving house is one of the and renovating and that is the biggest stresses on relationships.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big
huge deal. Because the stuff you do now is like, and I guess, that's the other thing that you said yesterday that was like, if you do stuff and you don't like it, you just change it. But I think someone like me and Andy thinks, no, we're going to do it once, we're going to do it perfect and then never touch it again.
That's right. And we're not having the same thing happen that's happened before. I think that's what he's thinking.
Yeah.
You're not going to just fill this house full of shit, Tamara, and then not have thought about where things go. It's going to be super hard because I think if he lets me go to East West, I'll basically be open to anything else. But if we're not allowed to go to East West tomorrow, I will continue to tantrum because I really want to see the cupboards because they give me the inspiration so then I can picture the room around them. Yeah. So my goal is East West tomorrow and to reach that goal, I'm going to try and be very open and understanding.
Yeah.
make sure I've got enough
Maybe
sugar
you
in
could
my
just
body.
say,
And
I'm just going to take photos of everything and I won't buy anything tomorrow.
oh, that's a good idea. Would that work for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No impulse buys.
Mm-mm.
Photos to be discussed.
Yeah, photos to be discussed at length and joyfully.
Thanks for coming to marriage counselling today.
Thanks, Danielle. That was helpful. I should talk to you more because you've got enough of Andy in you that I can go, what would you like to hear at this point? You know, you can help me.
Yeah, but then I'm like you when I'm in corporate at work with team members and people who I just want to do what I want to do immediately.
Yes, got it. Aren't we all a blessing and a curse? Wonderful.
I don't like that person.
That part of you.
We've retired her.
Oh, have we? Is she totally gone?
Well, I don't know. I don't work in corporate anymore.
We'll see if she. Yeah, I know. Well, that's okay if you don't
I get
like
her out
her
every now and
retire.
then when I need to do something, you know, or I'm advocating for someone I care about.
Yeah.
Like I'm at the hospital with Dad and things are going on. Like, oh, she comes out.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
bossy, assertive,
Useful.
aggressive.
It's good.
Yeah.
When she's needed.
When she's needed.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. When she's needed. Speaking of different parts of our personality, we had Lachie Samuel Mariu on last week, so he'll come out before this episode, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the healing he did with me.
He's a delight.
Oh, yeah, man, like that guy is so powerful. So on the episode we did, I didn't include the healing because I wanted to I really thought about it because I wanted it to offer for him, but I realised to love myself, I needed to respect my own privacy in literally showing the step-by-step of that. But I wanted to talk about it today, one, to talk about the blessing of it, but also in case it's useful for Lachie so he can share someone's experience of the work he now wants to do. So you, me and Grace and Lachie were in the room.
Yes.
And I had the thought, maybe I'll get Lachie to have a look with me about an issue. And then I thought, I'll tell him what the issue is and then he'll help me. But you might remember as soon as I started talking about it, he said, wait, stop, get in your body.
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, and hopefully accurately enough, what he does is, and the kind of healing work he wants to do now, this is the FIFO mental health guy who's stepping away from that business and doing more of the work he did with me. What he basically does is work through with you around sensations in your body and emotions to have a look at what might be historic hurts or things that are holding you back that you haven't been able to access, because instead of feeling the feeling and feeling your body, as human beings, most of us resist those painful feelings and will drink or gamble or have sex or eat or smoke or take drugs to not feel the yuckiness of those feelings. So he walked me through this process of feeling in my body, breathing a lot, repositioning my body to allow sensations to come through. And you can help me if I've missed it, but I think we probably did about 6 or 8 rounds of breathing and emotion. Because I knew the camera was on, I didn't know if we were going to use it. I knew you and Grace were in the room and Lachie was there. It was very hard for me not to want to break out of it. You know, I felt vulnerable, I felt resistant, nervous, embarrassed or humiliated. But I decided, no, I'm going to stick with it, right? Because I could feel his ability, and he was very good at containing me when I wanted to slide away from what was happening. Anyway, where we got to with it was we got to see me as a much younger child, and we got to see her experience of life and the pain of that and the stories of that. And in the last part of the healing, we did a particular process that allowed her to see how things might turn out in a happier way. Anyway, it was beautiful. And if you watch that podcast, particularly if you watch it on YouTube rather than listen to it, you'll see the difference in my face before the healing and afterwards.
Yes.
It's really profoundly different because of this release and peace and joy. It was a really wonderful experience. And I really appreciated him and do appreciate the work he's going to do with people. So I know at the moment his focus isn't so much on work, it's more on health and family. And listen to the podcast if you want to hear more about Lachie Samuel Mariu. But if someone hears this and thinks, I need some help with something that's a bit stuck, I would reach out to him and he'll let you know if he's available. but yeah, really quite magical. And because of what he's gone through and accessing his true self, his true love, his true, you could tell it wasn't messed up with ego or success or if I do this well, I'll be liked. It was none of that, right? It was
No,
just a pure,
so powerful
and so pure. And I said to him afterwards and believed still that is a very unusual thing for someone to work so powerfully and purely.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because normally it's like, I'll do this and you'll think I'm good. I'll do this and I'll make money. I'll do this and I'll be known as a guru. Whereas because of what he's been through and his realisation around what matters, his work was very powerful and very pure.
Yeah. Felt like he was stepping into his gift.
Yes.
Like he's been through all this hardship and he's finally figured out what's important to him, what his gift is in the world.
Yeah.
And then he's making a concerted effort to be of service to the people around him. He was just really amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing being in the room with you.
Yeah, it would have been. It would have been. He was amazing. And I think that as a part of it, because his focus now is on his health, his family, and then his gift, that's why I think if anyone hears this or sees me or watches my face and go, oh, I'd like a bit of that, that's fine. But, yeah, it would just be asking him the question. So I would say he's got a website, he's got a LinkedIn, YouTube. Just reach out if it's inspirational because I haven't come across too many people as clear and as loving and as powerful as he is in that at the moment. How wonderful.
It was beautiful.
How lucky. So what came out of that for me was the gift of the time and the ease of the time and a continuing access to be able to go back to that feeling. But I went and ran a very long and demanding day with one of my clients where I was facilitating, and we started very early in the morning. The session started at 6 and finished at 3, and normally a lot of energy for me in that time would go into worrying what people in the room were thinking about me because of my old pains and misunderstandings.
Yep.
And I suspect it was connected because I did the healing with Lachie and then went along to this day and I realised I didn't have zero concern, but it was far, far, far decreased. And the thing he helped me with, my sort of personality as a child or my misunderstanding who I needed to be, that has been with me ever since. And I've been acting from that to some extent ever since. And him releasing that or having me understand what was going on for little me, I think it has created a peace and an ease in an area that I really couldn't find peace and ease prior. So, yeah, it was, and sometimes when these amazing things happen, you think they'll happen like lightning bolt and then it'll be very obvious what's connected to what, but actually it was a very gentle realisation.
Yes.
It was like at the end of the day, I was like, oh, I'm not as tired as I'd normally be. I'm not so worried what they think of me. And, of course, as is life, the feedback was more positive. The people were more happy.
Yeah.
The people who I didn't know in the room who normally wouldn't acknowledge me said, oh, thanks, that was a good day. You know, stuff like that, that the irony of when you feel at ease, you get more of what you're desperate for when you're not at ease.
Yes. Yeah. It was good. It was like it was a real embodiment process of being in your body, feeling your feelings, connecting to things. And then the peace that comes from that.
Yeah, and the peace that comes from that. And also acknowledging the different times in our past and the bodily expression of that or the emotional expression of that and being able to access that other part of ourselves that's still in pain or still abandoned or still not seen, I think. There's a part of me that he helped me access to see it in a different way and therefore release her and that time and bring her into the present more than suffering in that past, you know?
Yeah. It was extraordinary.
It really was. It really was. So I wanted to say that and I wanted Lachie to have access to this if it's useful for him. But there's definitely, like back to what we were talking about at the beginning, I was speaking to a lot of people at the moment and there's this sort of fatigue. And woo-woo or not, I think as everyone is trying to do their best and have realizations and work hard and learn and grow and everything, there's definitely a feeling at the moment of, it's tiring doing all these it's almost like healing and rest for me kind of have to go together because it's such a big shift.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, wow. It's almost like as you put down the load, you realise how tiring it's been to carry it.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
like,
that's
I could
a
have
really
a
good
little,
way to talk about it.
I could have a little nap for 3 days. There's like an ease to it,
Yeah.
but there is sort of for me kind of a psychic or physical or emotional or all those things exhaustion of
Yes.
like, yeah, I'm a bit worn out now.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember in my grief counselling process after the passing of my late husband, when I did a lot of my grief counselling sessions at the beginning was just basically being in my body with uncomfortable feelings, a lot of mindfulness embodiment exercises. But the interesting thing was it wasn't that I was out of my body just because of this trauma experience I'd been through. I hadn't been in my body since like forever.
Ah, yes.
Like a really long time. Like, and once you kind of get in there, you're like, like it was all new.
Yeah.
And years of, something had happened, I'd just fly right out of my body, like I don't want to deal with this.
That's right.
And even that is exhausting.
Yes.
Like the exiting the show when stuff comes up, running away from your feelings. There's a lot of energy being used there.
It's true.
Rather than this new process of actually, like you've been doing with is it Stephen Bodian that you do that with?
Yes.
Where you just sit there with the feeling and.
Yes. Yeah. That's the link I want to share in the show notes. We may have done that before, but this Stephen Bodian, who I'm actually going to ask to talk to, I don't know if it'll be possible. He's American, and because he's on Waking Up, which of course is a very well-known thing and connected to Sam Harris, I don't know whether he will have people that'll go, what are you talking about? Of course not. But I'm going to ask him because he's been such an inspirational fellow. And we will share the link to his meditation on waking up. I believe you can access it even if you're not a member, or you might be able to, when you click on the link, it might offer you the 30 days free. It's the least dodgy website in terms of, you don't even have to put in your credit card to get the 30 days, so it doesn't, automatically tick over.
Yeah.
I realised I've been a member of 28 with Sam Wood, the guy off The Bachelor. I've been a member of that for maybe 20 months because I didn't realise I was in the tricky system.
Oh, and it's been auto-billing.
Yeah, and Andy said, what's this bill? And I was like, oh, my God. I think I read it once.
I hate those people.
I wrote a very firmly worded email.
Yeah, not even a reminder that your free period was ending.
I said something on the email like, I understand you can justify this decision because it's a regularly done thing in the world, but have a look at the immorality of what you're doing.
Yeah.
I was like, let's hopefully have them feel a bit guilty. Of course, some bot read it and deleted it, but at least I said it.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for that embodiment stuff as I continue my journey on it too.
I think it's the key, and I think it's, especially if one's been like me, running a particular persona, going in and out of it, particularly as you get used to it. So for me, the persona is always, especially in public, up, smiley, friendly, energetic. I'm actually not like that. I'm like that some of the time, but a lot of the time I'm not. So when I be more me, especially if I get reaction from other people like, what's happening? You're not normally like that. That can be quite a hard process to work through.
Yeah.
Because even as I said, like we caught up yesterday, I said, you said, how are you? And I said, I'm a bit worn out.
Yeah.
And then I'm uncomfortable with that. It's not my normal persona. It's not how I normally get praise.
Yes.
So then I kind of go in and out of it. Or yesterday when we were at the house after you guys had left, Andy around the car, and he said, I want to talk to you about this, that. And I said, listen, now's not the time. Yeah. And he pushed, which worked out not well, because I was trying to say I can't discuss things right now with you because I don't have any energy.
Yeah. No spoons.
Yeah. What did you say?
No spoons.
What does that mean?
A lot of people, and I'm probably going to get this a little bit wrong, but bear with me. When I first got diagnosed with my autoimmune thing, and I went on a lot of the chronic fatigue and all that kind of thing, they talk about being able to say to people when you don't have any spoons left. I don't know where that comes from, but it's like if you've got an illness where some days you feel good, some days you don't have a lot.
Yes.
It was a quick way of communicating that, it's a one spoon day for me today.
Yeah.
I just got out of bed and I made a cup of coffee and that's all I could do today. I've only got 1 spoon. So
Got it.
that's why I'm not texting you back or something like that.
Got
but
it.
if you're having a 5-spoon day, so
Yeah.
I've probably got that really wrong.
No,
but
the
that's
message
the
will be
thing.
right.
Yeah.
It'll be like Brene Brown talks about her and her husband saying, you know, what's your percentage today?
Yes.
And like yesterday, really, honestly, my percentage was about 10%.
Yeah.
So when Andy said, I want to talk about this now, and I said, not now, is because I was like, I can't
Had
deal.
half a spoon, a quarter of a
Right?
spoon.
Yeah, there's no spoons.
There was
man.
no spoon.
No spoons. So, yeah, it is being clever
good
about those
shorthand,
things,
yeah.
you know. But also understanding it's, you know, in a marriage, it's the other person as well. So I've got whatever I've got going on, but then, of course, he's got his worries and trying to be less self-involved and go, okay, what's it like for him? What is he thinking about? What's he worrying about? It's good practice. I get when they say marriage is kind of a spiritual practice because it is really, you do have to not just manage yourself, but also what you're doing together.
Yeah. I love Renee's one where she goes, the story I'm telling myself.
Oh, yeah.
So she sits with her husband and goes, the story I'm telling myself is that you think this and you think that and I've done this and you've done that. And then he goes, oh, well, the story I'm telling myself is...
Oh, I might use
I
that
think
today.
This, I think that. And the stories are never the same.
No, they're never. So I might use that today because I said to Andy, we're going out to a 50th tonight, and I thought, oh, the last thing I want is he and I tense with one another, you know, out with
fun.
Yeah. And so I said to him, let's talk before that. And I said, I'll ring him after I leave here. So I might say to him, can we do the Brené Brown thing? Because that might be quite a good, less reactive. Because, of course, what will normally happen is he will say, you're doing this. And then, of course, I get defensive. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what I'm doing. You're not in my mind.
Yeah.
Whereas if I say this is a story I'm telling myself and he says that, then we can go, okay, what do we want?
Yeah.
I know what I want. I want to go to East West Design tomorrow. I really committed. I might have to let it go though, in case it's helpful to let it go, you know.
Okay.
We'll see. But that one's sort of my walk away point. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Was there anything else? No,
I don't think so. Oh, probably just happy news. I said I was going to dancing. Then I met Tab, my personal trainer, who works at EXO in Naranda and Brabham, in case anyone hears this and goes, I need an awesome personal trainer. She's a machine man and she's very quirky, very human. She's allowed me to go to the gym and not feel so worried. So I've been going each week, and I said to, when I was at my work thing the other day, I said to one of the managers, I'm planning on being an old hottie. And he cracked up laughing. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not really joking, because I need to keep walking, have my knees work, everything like that.
Let's be old hotties together.
Old hotties. I'm planning on going blonde, gold jewellery. He thought that was a step too far, but like in 10 years, blonde, gold jewellery. White, crisp white shirts with the collar up.
With the collar.
Jeans where I don't have any podgy tummy because I'm fit.
Did you know pearls are back? I was with my personal shopper the other week.
Yes.
Because I don't follow fashion at all.
Yes.
And there was pearls everywhere, and I'm like, when did this happen? She's like, oh, pearls are in.
On clothes or as jewellery?
Jewellery.
Okay, so I have I'm not wearing it today because I went to my jeweller. It was so funny. My brother brought me this beautiful pearl ring for my 50th, and I love it. And I've put on weight since he bought it, and so it doesn't fit very well. Anyway, I went to the jeweller, and one fellow was there first, Aaron, who's my fave, and I said, oh, my ring doesn't fit. He goes, it's very humid today. Anyway, I said, oh, that's very kind of you, Aaron. And then the owner of the shop came out, and he hadn't heard it, and I said, oh, my ring doesn't fit today. And he said, it's very humid. And me and Aaron cracked up. I said, you say that to everyone, don't you? He's like, shit, we both said it. But yeah, it's beautiful. And I don't have them on today, but I've been wearing my wedding earrings actually that are a Jan Logan pair with a teardrop pearl at the bottom on a long silver stem.
There you go.
Accidentally in fashion.
I love
That's
that.
what's going to happen.
Favourite.
Yeah, I'm going to be an old hottie. Cool. All right, that's happy thought. Shall we wrap it up?
That's right.
Thank you. Thanks, Grayson.
Bye.
Bye.